teaser. I also broke my website, had an existential crisis, wrote poetry in my git commit messages, and somehow turned a narrative puzzle game into a deeply personal reflection of unsolved grief. Anyways, hi, and welcome to the Devlog.
This is John. He's the guy who has memorized every reaction GIF in the world and yet still can't figure out what to say in person. He's texted "I miss you" a dozen of times to Emma, but when she needed him to simply listen, he kept scrolling instead. He is late to every call, not because he forgot, but because he froze, wondering if his voice would sound stupid. Emma saw the good in him, and she believed he could grow, until one night, when she needed him to change, and he couldn't. So she packed her bags, not out of anger, but out of hope that he would finally learn. He didn't. And now, John is left with the echoes of what he failed to say. Alright, so the teaser is a cinematic trailer, but not only that, it's also an emotional shotgun blast, you know? I grabbed random voiceovers from the all over game, moments of regret, flashes of anger, bruised hopes, and stitched them together with zero explanation. What you hear is the story's soul, unfiltered. Just raw fragments meant to push you in the gut, or at least bruise your feelings.
I remember her laugh and how it broke.
No context, no setting, no, here's the hero. Just pieces of a puzzle you haven't seen yet. Shards of regret, whispers of grief, hints of someone who tried to make sense of it all. Mystery over clarity, like wandering through a half-remembered dream without the safety net of waking up. If it doesn't make sense, good. If it unsettles you, perfect. The unease is where the story breathes.
Good evening. I am a developer in crisis. Today we did a routine visual update of the Northern website, with the addition of making a new page for this very project. Work in progress. During the production of this page, we added a single button. Everything looked perfect, and everything was good. We readjusted a button due to misalignment. Everything descended into absolute anarchy. Yeah. At approximately 0300 AM this night, the update was conducted. Witnesses report a critical deployment labeled final button styles this time. That was pushed to production. Moments later, absolute horror, terror. The button moved. The padding collapsed. The entire CSS dictionary vanished. I just refreshed the page and everything went white and the nav bar screamed and the footer ran away. I haven't refreshed since. I just wanted to see the new page. I'm scared. 5 hours, 3 cups of coffee, and 1 emotional breakdown later, I wrote an apology git commit labeled "My bad." That was followed by 4 more increasingly desperate messages. Hotfix dash hotfix hotfix dash hotfix hotfix please work.html. Roll back to before the pain. Okay, rebuilding this from memory.css. Let's go live to the new page. Be advised, some views may be disturbed by what you are about to see. We are now here with the broken page. As you can see, there is absolutely nothing of CSS anywhere to be seen. Like, everything is collapsing all at once. We have images, that's cool enough, but as you can see, it is not this that it so desperately wants to be. If I wanna honest, this was less of a design failure and more so existential crisis rendered in HTML. But it was never just a button, it was me, and I broke it. I was the misaligned Paddy. The button has since been restored. CSS dictionary was found in our deserted folder called new definitely this. I am okay now, unfortunately, and I am suffering from PTSD when someone says Devlog. Yeah.
So, what is actually been done? Not it works in my head kind of done, not I wrote it down once in a fever dream kind. Actual progress, real stuff I can point to and say, see, I made that chaos! You know? Let's start with the only thing that's officially out in the world, the teaser. Yeah, the cryptic little mood bomb you may or may not have seen. A whisper collage of broken memories, unresolved conversations, and one guy screaming Emma like it's the last syllable keeping him from falling apart. No real context, no clear narrative, just the tone, and somehow that says more about the game than any pitch ever could. It's not here to explain, it's here to haunt, though I doubt that it actually does that. And what's the mood? It's being stitched together by a memory system, built from the ground up, which honestly surprised me by working. This is the living network that keeps tracks of what the player remembers, forgets, relives, and avoids, like an emotional save file, but broken, like John. And John? He got places to break down in now, real ones. First up, their old apartment. 2 toothbrushes, 1 calendar, 0 conversations. It's not haunted, not in the ghost way. It's haunted in we let something rot here while we smile through it way. You can feel the silence between every wall. Then there is the bridge. It's this wide open nothing between 2 places you'll never return to. Concrete, rusted rails, that sick feeling of almost saying the right thing but not. You can just stand there and try to remember who let go first. Spoiler, it was both of them, in different ways, at different speeds. Next up, it's the void. And no, it's not abstract anymore, it's literal. A cold concrete slab that you walk across slowly, emotionally bruised with every step. You try to scream, you want to scream, but all that comes out is air. It's not symbolic, it's not poetic, it's just numb. After that, you reach Emma's apartment. Neat, curated kind, but full of memories that no longer include you. You weren't kicked out, you just stopped belonging. And every object reminds you of what you didn't change, didn't say, didn't do. And finally, the rooftop. The last place they ever talked. This is where everything was said too late. The city lights are gorgeous, which makes it worse. Because now there's nothing between John and the sky, except the weight of everything he couldn't fix. They're not levels, they're all breakup songs with walls. Each one is a bruise shaped like a memory. To hold it together, we got this observer pattern event framework running beneath the surface, which sounds like a made up phrase, but it actually the reason the whole game hasn't imploded yet, kinda. Every memory, every little emotional trigger is wired into this system. So if something changes in one corner of the world, the rest of the game hears it like a psychic ripple. It's kind of elegant, but also kind of a mess, and I no longer fully understand how it works. Now, the gameplay itself. Look, the UI are bare bones right now. One button that literally says play. Another one that triggers a placeholder scream. But you know what? The scream slaps, okay? The point is, the structure is there. There's a playable flow, start, explore, remember, regret, repeat, soon. And it's ugly, but it breathes, So yeah, things are moving, but here's what's still waiting, like a pile of emails I keep marking unread. First off, voice acting. Yes, I kinda have actors, yes I have the scripts, but no, I haven't hit record yet. because I keep rewriting scenes every time I get out of the shower with a new genius idea. It's not delay, it's iteration, or self-sabotage, how to say. Then we got final meshes and environments. I want levels to feel lived in, remembered, and lost all at once. Right now they feel like IKEA renderings of a midlife crisis, but soon they'll have decay, detail, heartbreak, and mood trees, and regret walls, and that one swing that never swings, and all those cool stuff. Lighting and post-processing are also still kinda untouched. There's something done, but not enough, which means that everything is currently bathed in flat blank lighting that makes even the saddest scene feel like Churn's ad. Eventually I want more fog, I want a golden hour grief, and I want to weaponize color grading. Sound design is waiting too. Right now footsteps are just slap noises, and wind is a downloaded wave file called Sad Ambience File 3. But we've got plans for echoes that linger longer than they should, for sounds that remind you of someone without saying anything, and for silence that punches harder than dialogue. And yeah, the menus. Right now the main menu is one button that says play, and a play credits, and that's it. No options, and an absolute banger cinematic sequence if you ask me, which is in its own way kind of fits the theme. Yeah, eventually transitions, animation, mouse overs, and settings that do something, and a pause screen where you don't panic. So yeah, that's where we're at. A working skeleton, a breathing world, narrative systems, grey box levels, mechanics that flicker between functional and cursed. The bones are here, and the skin is on the way. And the soul, that's the part I'm still building, piece by weird little piece. And if you're wondering if I'm stressed, of course I am. But that's game dev, right? Alright, so we have now reached the part of development where things get weirdly real. Like, the maps have shapes now, the dialogue is locked in, and we even released a teaser which feels like showing a toddler you have finished a 2. So what now? Let's walk through the plan, which is a very fancy name for a series of gut checks, creative guesses, and please work moments. Voiceover lockdown. No more whispering into Audacity at 3 AM pretending to be a sad man named John. We're bringing in the full cast, directing full reads, and actually using lines we wrote, not just coffee spilled regret. We're treating voice direction like it matters, because in this game it is everything. All the sound is handled in WWise, which is a great tool if you love middleware, reapply license keys weekly, and the creeping fear that you forgot to add a reverb zone in the bathroom scene again. Honestly, I think WWise support has my IP flagged at this point. Every time I open a new project, a small siren has to go off somewhere in Canada. But sound matters, and it carries the memories. Footsteps, rooftop wind, and a subtle decay of a room someone left too fast. We want every moment to hum with things unsaid. Maps also need some soul. We got locations now, not just concepts, and not just grey boxes. We got John and Emma's apartment, where the pre-breakup vibe graveyard, the rooftop, where unspoken things echo louder than words, the bridge, not a puzzle, but just a long walk across things you didn't say, her apartment, a quiet, sterile, painfully distant place, and the void, just a concrete slab. That's like painful. Right now they still feel like quiet, so we're adding lighting passes and ambient layers and tiny subtle details. We don't need 300 hours of gameplay, we just need 30 minutes of you don't forgetting. Let us now speak of Panda, environment artist, mesh whisperer, texture bird. One man, countless rooms, and no funding. This gentle soul has spent the past weeks buried beneath a mountain of grey boxes, and vague emotional directions. Not like blueprints, oh no, but notes like, make the wallpaper look like the last year of a crumbling relationship. This slide should feel more like the day hope left. And to that, Sir Panda of Lendershire simply bows his head and mutters, "Hey, my lord," and returns to his workstation, where his monitor glows with the quiet agony of bevels and edge loops. At this point, the entire environment pipeline is just Panda alone in the dark, clicking through 60 layers of decals, trying to make the sink feel like a heartbreak. He is an unsailed Victorian chimney sweep, except the suit is UV islands and the chimney is the void. Load the light map beneath me once more, he whispers. But I shan't complain, for to unwrap is to suffer, and I am blessed to suffer. So to this paragon of pain, this blender blunt saint, we bestow a modest token. A single chilled Redbull. Not because he asked, not because he needs it, but because we need him to stay upright long enough to finish Emma's room before the sun explodes. This Redbull is not a gift, it's a contract. A fizzy wing-granting pact sealed between dev and artist. And should he finish ahead of schedule, then yes, we will allow him joy. A monster, perhaps? A creature? Something absurd and unnecessary, perhaps? A little voidling who lives in a teacup and speaks only in sighs, maybe? Who knows? Or maybe a rooftop bird with a judgment in his eyes and a cape made from unpaid invoices. Whatever it is, he will earn it. Because Panda has textured the bridge of sorrow. He has modeled the walls of regret. He has, by all accounts, become one with the grief mesh. Render me in grayscale, for I am but a shadow of a man, he says, sipping his Red Bull with a dignity. Godspeed, Panda, and may your normals always face the right way. So here's where we diverge from our classic indie brain game. There are no puzzles, there is no clever switches or physics gimmicks. There's a moment where you go, I solved it. Instead, it's just, oh god, I felt that. The goal is to guide the player through memory, not maze. We want you to walk through someone else's heartbreak like it's your own, to feel disoriented, heavy, and weirdly nostalgic. That's harder than puzzles, but way more honest, you know? Do we have funding? No. Do we have a publisher? Nope. Do we have dreams? Absolutely. So we are building with limits. Every asset, every line, every sound, chosen for impact, not filter. We're not hiding a lack of budget, we're weaponizing it. No fluff, no wasted scenes, just the parts of the story that sting, you know? We're building this game with nothing but time, talent, and trauma, and somehow it is working. Next up, we finish the voiceover session. We light every scene like a memory, and let Panda make a monster. And hope that the WWise project doesn't fry the license again. If we survive that, part 6 begins. Polish, playtest, and probably cry. Although my fellow digital adventurers, we made it to the end of this chaotic update. Congratulations, you deserve a medal or at least a snack. Now, full disclosure, this game is not gonna build itself, and poor Panda is working his fingers to the bone making these models. Seriously, I should just gift him a lifetime supply of Red Bull, just to keep him fueled for this madness. Maybe throw in a little crown for Model Master of the Year while I'm at it. Speaking of heroes, shout out to Crispy, the quality assurance wizard who makes sure things doesn't fall apart before your very eyes. And then there's Gemini and ChatGPT, the dynamic duo who helped me wrestle the website back from the brink of digital oblivion. You guys rock. So, if you like hearing me ramble about awkward voiceovers, broken website, and the slow, painful birth of a game, well, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button, because Devlog 2 is coming, and spoiler alert, it might feature more caffeine-fueled coding marathons, questionable sound effects, and maybe even some actual progress. Maybe, no promises. Until then, keep your snacks close and your sanity closer. Catch you guys soon.